Devastating to watch, but all too familiar. This is a scene America is getting used to, but no one ever wants to see, especially close to home. Is 10-year-old Alyssa Jones worried?
No.
But her mom, Rochelle...
It's not something I envisioned worrying about as much as I do now.
Alyssa attends Brickell Academy in Virginia Beach. Her 5-year-old brother will be in kindergarten next year. The climate much different than when Rochelle grew up.
You take your daughter or your child to the bus stop and you just have to kind of worry.
In her opinion, arming willing, qualified teachers is the best solution for keeping schools safe. Of course, others want to take the exact opposite approach. But while that debate raged following the February high school shooting in Parkland, Florida, this video racked up tens of millions of views on Facebook, showing students running into a classroom shelter.
So shelter in place is a bulletproof, stormproof shelter that goes inside of classrooms. It's made from hardened ballistic steel.
Inside the shelter, something you'll see in a lot of security systems, a monitor connected to a camera outside, letting those in hiding know when the threat has passed. Vice President of Sales Casey Elliott says the inspiration for the Utah-based company came from tragedy a little more than 5 years ago.
Sandy Hook happened in December 2012. The founder, Jim Haslam, was sitting there watching the news, and he just thought there's got to be something better to do to protect kids in school.
This was the solution the founder came up with. Testing the shelter himself while AK-47s fired at it.
They are built to be literally tanks.
Keeping students safe from anyone who comes in looking to harm them. And Elliott says schools are starting to catch on.
We've received over 2,000 requests from our website alone. I believe I've seen a few coming from Virginia.
As Virginia Beach Public Schools sets out to review security, Superintendent Aaron Spence says a number of options are on the table. He's heard of shelter in place, and he has some concerns.
I've looked at that device. I think I would ask some questions about how it helps or impedes the learning environment.
Outside of emergencies, Elliott says the shelters are designed to look innocent and be used in educational ways. But there's another hurdle.
The cost of that across 5,000 classrooms.
The shelters aren't cheap.
It averages out to be about $1,000 per person.
So for example, for the average classroom in Virginia Beach, at least $20,000 each. The cost to put a shelter in every classroom, $100 million.
Even though it's a larger upfront investment, they will last forever. Then we're also working with government to come up with some ways to sort of help pay for this.
In the end, the company says their goal is to get this into as many classrooms as possible. And yes, there's money involved, but lives too, Elliott says.
And I think this is the one solution in all the gun debates and everything. You can't argue with it.
For right now, it's not something being seriously considered by local schools we reached out to, but in the future...
If they're going to invest the money into it, I feel like a metal detector would be far more practical than making a bunker in a classroom.
Either way, it's hard to argue with bulletproof. Anthony Sabella, News 3.